Welcome to New Black's Ghana. Today, we are going to debunk the fallacious claim that the Ghana government has given land to Black Americans to build their city in Ghana. A viral claim has been circulating on social media, suggesting that the Ghanaian government allocated land for African Americans to build their own separate community or city in Ghana. Posts and videos have alleged that a group of Black Americans secured a 300-acre site with government backing exclusively for African American settlers. For example, one YouTube video asserted that a group of Black Americans spoke to the Ghanaian government about building a town in Ghana specifically for Black Americans. Similarly, a widely shared Facebook post claimed Black Americans, in collaboration with the Ghanaian government, are developing a city on a 300-acre site in Ghana. The city is named Sanbra. These statements created a buzz, raising hopes and skepticism about a supposed African American city on Ghanaian soil. In this report, we delve into the origin of this claim, how it spread, especially via YouTube and social media, and the facts that debunk it. We also distinguish this false narrative from Ghana's authentic diaspora engagement programs, like the Year of Return and Beyond the Return, providing clear evidence of what the government is and isn't doing to welcome the African diaspora. Origin of the claim and social media spread. The rumor appears to have stemmed from misunderstandings around a real estate development project in Ghana that targets diaspora investors. In late 2024, news broke of a private initiative to build a modern housing community called Sanbra City near Accra. The project, spearheaded by diaspora entrepreneurs such as the team from Earn Your Leisure and activist Chakabars, alongside Ghanaian developers, involves roughly 300 acres and aims to create housing for those returning to Africa. However, misinformation soon followed. A well-known social media influencer, identified in some reports as ISA, released a video describing Sanbra City in a sensational way, implying that the Ghanaian government had gifted land to African Americans for this purpose. This misleading video painted the project as a government-partnered, diaspora-only city, sparking excitement and confusion among viewers. Once the influencer's content went live, the claim spread rapidly on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Short clips and posts repeating the narrative of a Black American city in Ghana gained traction. For instance, the quote about building a town in Ghana specifically for Black Americans was widely shared as a factual development. On Twitter, X, and Facebook, reposts popped up saying the Ghanaian government was collaborating on a city for the diaspora, often citing the name Sanbra City as evidence of a special diaspora enclave. In reality, Sanbra, which means return in Akan, is the chosen name of a private real estate project, but online chatter twisted it into a government-sanctioned diaspora city. Some versions of the rumor even suggested the land was given as a birthday present to the diaspora group, an embellishment that further fueled the story's virality. Several diaspora-focused social media pages amplified the claim, perhaps unintentionally. By early 2025, YouTube Shorts titled Ghana to Have a City for Only African Americans, Parts 1, 2, 3, garnered thousands of views, reiterating that a delegation of Black Americans had met with Ghana's government to create their own town. On Facebook groups and Instagram Reels, the idea of an exclusively African American settlement in Ghana was hotly discussed, until Ghanaian-based content creators and fact-checkers stepped in to set the record straight. Ivy Prosper's fact-check and rebuttal. One of the most prominent debunkings came from Ivy Prosper, a Ghanaian-Canadian journalist and media personality known for her work on diaspora issues. Ivy Prosper released a detailed video investigation addressing the question, have Black Americans partnered with the Ghana government to build their own city? Her conclusion was an emphatic no. In that video fact-check, she clarified the misinformation by stating clearly, no, there is not a Black American city in Ghana. She investigated the viral claim about a supposed all-diaspora city and provided evidence to refute it. In her fact-check, Ivy Prosper traced the source of the rumor and then dismantled it point by point. The government of Ghana has not partnered with a group of African Americans to build a city just for them, she stated unequivocally. Prosper explained that the Sanbra City project is a private real estate development, not a Ghanaian government scheme. The land in question was acquired through the developer's own arrangements, not a free grant from the state. In her video, Ivy visits the proposed site and speaks with people involved, confirming that no official governmental body, neither the Ministry of Lands nor the Office of Diaspora Affairs, allocated that land or is co-developing the project. The misleading claims online were likely born from misunderstandings or exaggerations of this diaspora-led investment project. Importantly, Ivy Prosper debunked the notion that Sanbra City, or any community in Ghana, would be exclusively for African Americans. She highlighted that the developers themselves disavow that idea. The project is being marketed to the African diaspora as well as locals, aiming to create a mixed community. Sanbra City is designed as an inclusive development, welcoming investors from all backgrounds who see the value in owning property in Ghana, Prosper noted, quoting the project's vision. In other words, it's not a walled-off enclave only for Black Americans. Any qualified buyer or investor, Ghanaian or foreign, can participate. Ivy cautioned that the social media frenzy was spreading a false narrative that needed to be corrected to avoid confusion and resentment. Her video, along with posts on her Facebook and Instagram, served as a reality check for thousands who had heard the rumors. By providing on-site footage, interviews, and official clarifications, she effectively disproved the allegations about Ghana gifting land for an all-diaspora city. Official responses versus rumor. Despite the online buzz, no Ghanaian government agency has confirmed the claim. In fact, officials have implicitly refuted it by emphasizing different priorities. As of this report, no official statement exists announcing any policy to grant communal land for an exclusively African American town. If the rumor had been true, one would expect formal announcements from bodies like the Ministry of Lands or the Office of Diaspora Affairs. Instead, the silence from officials on this specific claim, coupled with outright denials from informed observers like Ivy Prosper, indicates the claim's falsity. The reality is that Ghana's government encourages diaspora investment and repatriation in general, but does not endorse segregated communities or special land giveaways to any one diaspora group. In Ivy Prosper's investigation, she mentions reaching out to contacts in Ghana's government who were unaware of any such deal. The project developers also confirmed, "We never spoke to anybody at the Ghanaian government regarding building a diasporan-only city." In short, the Ghanaian government was not involved in Sanbra City beyond the standard regulatory oversight that any development would require. There was no secret agreement to hand over public lands to foreign nationals. Had there been, it likely would have sparked significant public debate in Ghana. Instead, local news in Ghana has treated Sanbra City as a private commercial venture, notable, but not a government project. Moreover, Ghana's official stance toward the African diaspora runs contrary to the idea of isolating one group on a gifted tract of land. The Office of Diaspora Affairs, established in 2017 under the President's Office, describes its mission as mobilizing African resources in the diaspora to participate in Ghana's socio-economic development. Diaspora Affairs Office, at diasporaaffairs.ghana, Instagram, this mandate focuses on integration, encouraging diaspora professionals to invest, start businesses, and contribute to Ghana at large, rather than carving out separate enclaves. It's about inclusion in the nation's development, not separation. Likewise, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, which coordinates many diaspora initiatives, has centered its messaging on unity and shared heritage, for example, through the Year of Return program inviting the diaspora to come home. There has been no mention in any official policy of creating exclusive cities or towns for diaspora only, which would go against Ghana's ethos of unity between returnees and locals. To put the nail in the coffin, Ghana's track record with diaspora engagement shows a focus on citizenship and residency rights, not one-off land grants. In 2019, as part of the Year of Return commemorations, President Nana Akufo-Addo personally conferred Ghanaian citizenship on 126 members of the African diaspora in an official ceremony, recognizing them as Ghanaians. By 2022, the number of diaspora who had been granted citizenship in Ghana swelled to over 500. This reflects Ghana's strategy of integrating diaspora Africans as full members of society, with the right to buy property, vote, etc., rather than setting them apart. It's also worth noting that Ghana's laws, such as the right of abode and the ability to hold dual citizenship, make it relatively straightforward for people of African descent to relocate and live in Ghana long-term through legal immigration channels. These policies underscore inclusion. Once you're a Ghanaian resident or citizen, you are free to acquire land or join any community in the country. There's no need for a special designated city. No evidence supports the claim that Ghana's government gifted land for an all-black American city. All evidence points to a false narrative that grew out of miscommunication. Ghana's leaders have been welcoming to the African diaspora, but through integration and empowerment, not segregation. The viral claim has now been widely debunked by credible voices, and Ghanaians themselves have cautioned each other not to fall for such unfounded stories. The claim that the Ghanaian government has set aside land for African Americans to build their own separate community is a false narrative that grew out of misinterpreted information. Our investigation, supported by official statements, fact checks by Ivy Prosper, and accounts of the actual Sanbra City project, confirms that no such government-backed Black American city exists in Ghana. What does exist is a privately funded real estate development, open to all investors, and a strong government drive to welcome diaspora as part of Ghanaian society, not apart from it. Ghana's president and officials have repeatedly stressed unity between Ghanaians and the African diaspora. The year of return and beyond the return exemplify how Ghana sees the diaspora as long-lost relatives coming home to reconnect and invest, not as a separate nation on Ghanaian soil. Rather than granting special enclaves, Ghana has offered diaspora individuals the chance to become Ghanaians themselves through right of abode, naturalization, and integration into communities across the country. Thousands of African Americans and other diasporans have indeed relocated to Ghana in recent years, but they live among Ghanaian neighbors in Accra, Cape Coast, Kumasi, and other locales, pursuing businesses, building homes, and contributing to local society. In the age of social media, it is easy for a kernel of truth to be overshadowed by sensational claims. The Sanbra City project, a positive example of diaspora initiative, was distorted into a tale of Ghana gift city to Americans, which it is not. Thanks to prompt fact-checking by concerned community members like Ivy Prosper, this misinformation has been largely dispelled. As Ivy and others have demonstrated, it's important to seek out credible sources and official information when faced with bold claims. Before believing that an African government has handed over land for a new expatriate city, one should look for evidence from that government or trusted journalists. In this case, the evidence all points in one direction: Ghana welcomes the diaspora, but it isn't carving out a diaspora-only city. Moving forward, those interested in the repatriation movement can take heart that Ghana indeed has its arms wide open, not to give free land, but to offer something more meaningful, a place to call home as part of the broader national family. The real story is not about an exclusive city, but about building bridges between Africans on the continent and Africans in the diaspora. And that story is unfolding in Ghana through genuine initiatives, not rumors. As the Ghana Tourism Authority's slogan for diaspora engagement puts it, beyond the return is about making the return sustainable and mutually beneficial. In essence, Ghana is fostering a homecoming, one based on unity and shared destiny, rather than separation. By laying to rest the false allegations and highlighting the true efforts underway, we get a clearer picture of how Ghana is engaging its diaspora, with open doors, not fenced-off lands. Sources: the facts presented in this report are backed by statements from Ghanaian authorities and credible media. Ivy Prosper's investigation and quotes are documented from her public video and posts. Official information on Ghana's diaspora programs is drawn from government-affiliated sources and news reports. Claims circulating on social platforms are evidenced with excerpts from those posts or videos. All references are cited in the text for verification.